So, for those who don't know me, I'm Coach Sal. If you haven't heard at least 10 times tonight, I coach defense. So, I'll be short, because I know this is going long, and actually I think Chris Moore should probably win the over-under on this. But I'd like to say this. Football is a team sport, and it's comprised of 3 separate components: offense, defense, and special teams. And it only works when they all play together. And even though I coach defense, and we do a lot of great things up here, I can tell you right now, what Ned's done with special teams has been phenomenal. You're talking about a guy that finds someone that can kick a football and he turns them into a phenomenal kicker, an all-conference kicker. Okay? And then when I think of this offense, and I don't get to talk to these guys a lot, but my job as the defensive coordinator is to study and break down offenses. And we have done that, some of the best offenses in the country. And I can tell you this right now, watching this group right here over the last 3 years develop, they developed into one of the best offenses, and it was a pleasure watching them in practice and things they did in games. And trust me, we have each other's back. There's times when defense might not come out and do the right things, and we get ourselves in trouble. And I tell our guys, when we make mistakes, those mistakes go up on the scoreboard, they don't come off. And there's been times, like with the Matthew game this year, that offense had our back, and they picked it up. Okay? And that's when down the stretch, when they went through a little adversity and suffered some injury, it was that defense, they knew they had to pick it up. And they did. And the other thing is, I consider myself a humble man, and I really don't like the attention that I've been getting tonight, because I might be the voice of the defense, the architect that's created it, but if I don't have these guys sitting right here in front of me, these position coaches who are the best at what they do, teach their individual group what to do, the game plan, and put it all together on game night, it doesn't happen. And they know I love them, and they're my family, and that's what true team is about. So, getting to this award, and bear with me here, I just had eye surgery, I'm going to try to read this with one eye here. This is a very meaningful award to me personally. I stand up here every year and present this to the player in my unit who had a huge impact in the success of our defense. A player who did everything right. A player that puts all the hard work in the offseason. A player who sets his goals and succeeds. A player who raises the level of play around him. To have done all this with a very talented defense is very impressive. This was a defense that gave up the fewest total points since I've been coaching here, 91, an average of 8.2 per game. A defense that gave up 0 points in the playoffs. I'm not sure the last time that's ever happened. A defense that is full of all conference and all net players. A defense that showed up when we needed them to show up. The MVP of this award is voted upon by the players. Coach Stefanelli told me he tallied up the votes and it came down to 3 individuals who were separated by a vote or 2. That tells me 2 things. 1, we had great players, and 2, they played great team defense. The recipient of this award was a 4-star athlete who received first team all-conference and all-net honors. He could run, he could play the run as well as he rushed the passer. He could squat down a ball and still have athleticism enough to drop off into coverage. He led the team and the league in sacks with 17. He made big plays when we needed big plays to be made. It is all these things combined that make him this year's MVP on the field. But it's the things that off the field that make him my MVP. He is a young man of character. He listens to his teachers and coaches and uses it to his advantage. He carries himself as a role model for the underclassmen. He chooses to do the right thing opposed to do the wrong thing. young man who stays humble and practices his faith. In a world full of controversy, it's obvious he was raised correctly. For that, I praise his parents, Alfred Mayo, for all a good job well done. He is committed to the University of Clemson, where I'm sure he'll accomplish all his goals and then go on to be a great man. It's my honor to present 2023 Defensive MVP Award to Alfred Mayo.
Danny said, did you record it?
One last thing. I know the question was asked, because the alums are asking, who had the better defense?